Welcome to Affluential Sports and another edition of Around the NFL. This weekend, the divisional round of the NFL playoffs just got wrapped up, and we're going to get into the recap for each of these games. First game of the weekend, we had the Baltimore Ravens hosting the Houston Texans. The game started off good, some good defense being played by both teams. It was tied. It was tied 10-10 going into the second half. Really competitive first half. The offenses, they couldn't get a lot going. The Texans, they had a punt return touchdown. So in the first half, then when the second half started, the Ravens took over from there. They scored 3 touchdowns. 2 of those drives were 7 minutes, and they ended up winning 34-10. They just completely dominated in the second half. And the first half struggles for the Ravens could have been because of the bye week that they had, but they really got it together in the second half, and it looks like they should have Mark Andrews back next week, which would be huge for them going into that championship game. But Lamar Jackson, he played great. He was 16-22 passing for 152 yards and 2 touchdowns. Also had 100 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns, so 4 touchdowns total. And the defense played great. The whole team, they had a good game. It might not be the most flashy stats, but Lamar Jackson did what he had to do, so the Ravens could win the game. So congratulations to them on moving on, and better luck next year to the Texans. Then the next game, which was really competitive, the Green Bay Packers and 49ers. The Packers were the first 7 seed to get this far in the playoffs, and this was a great back and forth game. The Packers won the toss again and decided to receive, and they had a good drive, but they were able to get it. They weren't able to get a touchdown and had to settle for a field goal to start off the game. Then this was really competitive and good back and forth. Romeo Dobbs, he was getting going early in the game for the Packers. The 49ers would eventually take the lead 7-3. Guess what? The last week when the Packers played the Cowboys, they were able to get a touchdown, having Dallas play from behind. But with just getting a field goal in this game against the 49ers, we have a powerful offense. We're able to take the lead even 7-3 in the early stages of the game. And then they kicked another field goal to make it 7-6. And the 49ers were leading going into the half. It was a low-scoring, good defensive half from the 49ers and Packers. Deebo Samuel got injured in this game, so prayers up to him. His status is uncertain for next week, but hopefully he gets well soon. You never like to see injuries. In the second half gets started. These teams start trading touchdowns, just going down the field and scoring. Then it was the Packers after the third quarter were up to 21-14 going into the fourth quarter. And the 49ers were already moving the ball downfield. So to start off the fourth, Jake Moody hit a 52-yard field goal and to cut it to 21-17. But the Packers couldn't get anything going on the next drive. They had to punt. Aaron Jones really stepped up for the Packers in this playoff. Had a good game last week against Dallas. Played well here against the 49ers. The 49ers were able to march down the field late in the fourth quarter and take the lead 24-21. And and there was a minute and 7 seconds left. And Green Bay, they had the ball with 3 timeouts. Romeo Dobbs had a nice catch to get the drive started. Then Jordan Love threw an interception, and the 49ers won 24-21. Both of the picks Jordan Love threw were to Dre Greenlaw, as he had a good game. And the Packers kicker did miss a field goal, so in this situation it could have been tied, potentially going to overtime. But Jordan Love did throw 2 bad picks in this game, and he looks like a clone of Aaron Rodgers. But better luck next year to the Packers, and congratulations to the 49ers on moving on. Then we get to the Lions and Buccaneers. This was a really fun and entertaining game. The Lions would come out with the win, 31-23, but it was a good back and forth game. The Lions actually won the toss and decided to receive, but went 3-and-out on their first drive. And then when the Buccaneers got it, Baker ended up throwing a crucial pick in the beginning stages of the game and threw another pick to end the game. So that wasn't great. But this was a very good game. Mike Evans started off a bit slow, but he eventually got going and had himself a great game. Now, there was a missed defensive pass interference when Mike Evans was going for a 2-point conversion to make it 31-23. It wasn't called for. Apparently, it wasn't called because they looked at it as him backpedaling, but it was a clear defensive pass interference, and the Lions had got away with one there. But for the most part, the refs weren't as bad as they were in the Rams and Lions game from the previous week. This was really entertaining. It was Baker Mayfield. He took a few bad sacks that hurt some of the Buccaneers' drives. He took 4 sacks, I think, 2 of which took him out of field goal range. And he threw the 2 crucial picks, one at the start of the game, one at the end, which I talked about. Then Jamar Gibbs, he got going. And the Buccaneers' run defense was pretty good most of the year. But Jamar Gibbs, as a rookie, he stepped up in a big-time playoff game. So congratulations to the Lions on advancing to the NFC Championship. They haven't been there in a while, so congratulations to them. And better luck next year to the Buccaneers. Then we have the game of the weekend, probably the best game of the playoffs. The Kansas City Chiefs going to Buffalo to face the Buffalo Bills. After the first quarter, it was tied up 3-3. Both Mahomes and Allen had drives, getting their teams in the red zone, but had to settle for field goals. Then Josh Allen, he was able to, in the second quarter, he had a run to make it 10-3. Josh Allen, he runs, so he has a lot of design runs, and they can be dangerous. But Rasheed Rice, he had a nice catch in there, and the Chiefs, they were getting it down. The Chiefs were going downfield again, but the Bills defense stepped up, and the Chiefs had to settle for a field goal. But the Bills, they didn't make a lot of mistakes, but they made more mistakes than the Chiefs did this game. Going into halftime, the Bills were up 17-13. They were going into halftime. It was a good back and forth first half. The whole game was great overall. Start the second half, the Chiefs marched down the field, retook the lead 20-17. Then the Bills started bringing in extra linemen to get that run game going. And they had Ty Johnson running in for a touchdown. But yeah, it was The Bills had a bad delay. Ty Johnson, he had got a first down, not a touchdown. It was Shakir that had got the touchdown on that play, and the Bills were up 24-20. Then the Bills, they got Pacheco going. He was having a good game. And the Bills were coming after Mahomes, but it wasn't the best idea to blitz against Mahomes because it usually doesn't turn out great. Rasheed Rice had a huge catch in the fourth quarter. Then he looked shooken up after the catch. Luckily, he was able to come back, and the Chiefs would take the lead 27-24. And up to this point, there was 0 turnovers and 0 sacks for both of these teams combined. Then the Bills started making a few mistakes. They did a fake punt on 4th and 5 with DeMar Hamlin. It didn't go good. Allen missed a few throws. The Stephon Diggs player, he was not great this playoffs against the Steelers or in this game against the Chiefs. He did not look good at all. Tyler Bass ended up missing a kick that could have tied the game. And the Chiefs had a fumble at the goal line that gave the Bills the ball back, which led to the Tyler Bass field goal miss. And the Chiefs would win this game 27-24. So the Chiefs are advancing to the AFC Championship. So congratulations to them. And the Bills have been eliminated from the playoffs. So better luck next year. And to get into the predictions for the championship games. We have in the AFC Championship, we got the Chiefs going to Baltimore. And I'm going to take the Ravens in that game. The Mark Andrews should be back. Isaiah Likely has been playing good. Zay Flowers has been great. The Ravens, I think the Ravens have a better defense. The Chiefs, they win. They have a better quarterback. But I think this game comes down to who plays. I feel like this is going to be a real good defensive battle. And the team that plays better defense is going to win this game. And I think the Ravens will end up closing it out in a nail biter with the Chiefs. In the NFC Championship, we got the Lions heading to San Francisco to face the 49ers. And I'm taking the Lions in that game. Brock Purdy had an impressive game-winning drive, but he did not look great against the Packers. He did not look great. He had a so-so game, and I think the Lions have saw that on film and will take advantage of that. And I think the Lions and Ravens will be playing in the Super Bowl this year. And one more thing before I end off the video. The Las Vegas Raiders have officially named Antonio Pierce as their head coach. Since he took over the Raiders, they had one of the best defenses in the league. And they didn't make the playoffs. They were in the hunt for a bit, mathematically speaking. But he installed like a new culture with that team. So I'm glad to see that the Raiders decided to hire Antonio Pierce and keep him in the future because he's a really good head coach. He did a great job with this team, and I think with a few moves, he can really, and just having him a whole season, the Raiders can really improve with him as the coach. Then this is the final thing before the video ends, but the Eagles have fired the defensive coordinator. That is the first step to building this team back up because we had a disaster of a season. Yes, we made the playoffs, but how we got eliminated was embarrassing. The whole season was embarrassing. The way we played, started 10-1, finished 11-6, and finished as a 5 seed. But we've fired our defensive coordinator now. That's the first step in the right direction. Hopefully, if we keep Nick Sirianni, hopefully he can find a good defensive coordinator. They can install some type of culture in these guys. And this will be our third defensive coordinator in 3 years, because obviously Jonathan Gannon left after our run to the Super Bowl because He found a new job with Arizona, and this year we had to replace him, and it didn't go great. But hopefully we find that guy that can help this defense. And that is pretty much it. So make sure you leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel.